What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Powered by Primus. And I realized today that I never posted the finals for our Heroes Rise big tournament. And obviously, it's the most important match that we did have, so I'm going to be posting that gameplay for you guys today. Now, we do have James on the right side of our screen rocking Dinobots, and we do have Eric on the left side of our screen rocking Metroplex. Now, turn one here, it looks like James is going to be flipping Sludge and probably just sending him in. He does flip over a double orange as well. He does have a star available in the list, which is where you are seeing that mountain missile come in. No blues on Eric's side in his Metroplex list, so he's going to be taking a big hit there. Looks like he's taking 6 damage. Eric's going to draw for the turn here, and let's see what these players come up with. Now, I will tell you, James is extremely good at piloting Dinobots. It is definitely one of his favorite things, and I've seen him play the absolute most. And Eric is extremely good at Metroplex. I've seen a lot of players playing Metroplex, but I honestly think Eric is one of the best. Now, he's playing a height advantage and cracking in for huge damage. Let's see what he can pull out here. 2 whites, that's already going to take care of that. 2 oranges and 2 double blues, obviously getting the proc there. Flipping a lot of whites, actually, which is a little unfortunate, but he's going to be getting a lot of damage in here, and he is going to be tapping down the squad and getting 1 damage in. That's going to be a really nice hit there. I'm guessing that he didn't have anything in his hand to probably flip to be able to deploy a little character, but I will tell you that Eric plays this matchup very differently, and he uses his Metroplex far more than most people who usually use the littler characters. He really crashes in there. James is going to be letting that press the advantage go away, obviously. That Metroplex isn't a Decepticon. It does give the +2 attack, though. So we are going to get the reset here, which obviously we didn't see the tap down. For those of you guys who don't know, when Metroplex's ability procs, you tap all enemy characters and deal 1 damage to each of them. So after that, you'd finish your attacks, and then you'd go to reset. Now, looks like James is debating here what he wants to do. If Metroplex can continue to bash like this and proc every single turn, Dinobots find themselves into a really bad spot because they never really get more than 1 hit off in a turn. Looks like he's going to be flipping Swoop and playing a Supercharge on him. He's going to attack there, which is going to heal 1 off of Sludge's ability. See what he does flip with that Bold 3. Getting a double orange there is nice, but then losing that extra orange with the blue that he flips. Getting in for 10 damage here. Looks like Eric does flip 2 blues on the other side, which is going to be 3, so taking 7, taking him up to 13 damage. Pretty nice hit. Dinobots are definitely all about bold, and they can really get in there for a lot of damage. The benefit here is that Metroplex does have very high health, so let's see what he can do. So there is a rollout, which is going to dispatch one of the little characters. Eric actually plays it kind of correct and does have the characters underneath Metroplex. I am terrible, and I have them off to the side every time. So see what he's going to bring out here. Slammer is an option, obviously dealing 1 to the entire team. It looks like he's debating that, but he's going to go with 6 gun. 6 gun's going to be really nice. Most likely, if he's bringing out 6 gun, he's going to be flipping Metroplex for the turn, and he's probably going to be attacking with Metroplex for the turn is going to be my guess. Looks like he's going to play a Power Punch on that Metroplex. Let's see what he does throw out here. Checking his scrap pile, most likely counting the whites or counting double oranges or blues, which is something you should always be doing, especially in a Metroplex list that really cares about pips. So he is going to be able to deal the 1 damage to Swoop off of that 6-gun trigger, and he is attacking with Metroplex. So we're going to get a white there. 2 whites. He does get the proc again. Like I said, he's really consistent with this ability, and that's going to automatically put 1 damage onto Swoop, 1 damage onto each character, tap them all down, and I'm pretty sure this attack here is going to KO the Swoop. It looks like that is 10 damage going in. Even blocking 1 of it, he takes 9, and that takes Swoop out of the game. So 6 gun's going to be crashing in now. It looks like he's going to be going into Sludge is going to be the intended target. It is. Let's see what he does flip here. Does get a white. There's an orange bringing that 6 gun's attack to 3. We have 2 armor onto the Sludge, meaning he should be taking 1 damage here. Alright, so it looks like that Sludge is taking 2. I don't think the players did see that there, is that he should have only been taking 1, but he did in fact put 2 onto the Sludge. That 1 point of damage actually might make a big difference, especially if he can get another Metroplex proc. Let's see what he's got here. We did just see that James did draw a grenade launcher, which is always a fan favorite of Grimlock, putting him at a base 10 damage, and with Trample, Grimlock can be a really scary character. So he does choose to play the grenade launcher. Let's see if he gets to outfit it as well with a Dino Chop or a Supercharge. He has tons of ways of dealing bold in the list. He also does have focus fires, I see here, so he does have lots of way of bolding him up. We are going to see a focus fire get played here. Let's see if we're going to see another one get stacked. Most likely he only has the 1. and he's probably debating on what his target is here. Most likely going to consider going into 6-gun, which would be a really good thing. The trample is always really nice because you don't have to worry about it with Metroplex. He also might just value the damage on Metroplex more in this situation. Getting the heal off of 1 from Sludge there. I do not know who his intended target is. Getting in for 13 damage. Flipping some blues there is really nice on Eric's side. Looks like he was going into 6-gun, and that is... Alright, so that is going to be enough to KO the 6-gun and only carry 3 over to Metroplex, which is actually really nice. That is not a lot of damage coming over onto Metroplex. 6-gun really got to soak up a lot of that damage, which is really nice. Now I can see a backup beam, a work overtime, and a supercharge in Eric's hand over here, which is some pretty nice stuff. Being able to play that backup beam and that supercharge could possibly do a lot of damage to this Grimlock here and really put the hurting on the Sludge as well with the proc. It looks like he's always going through that scrap pile. It's one thing I've always told you guys about, is make sure you guys always go through your scrap pile and see what color pips that you do have in there, especially when it comes to a pip specific character. He's making sure that he counts how many are left in his deck, and he is going for the big swing there. He does see that he can probably get it, or at least shuffle and rely on it. Seeing 2 oranges and a blue, there is a white, 2 blues. He needs 1 more white here. We got 2 for the base, 2 for the bowl 2. So we still get to see a total of 4 more cards. So he should definitely be flipping a white off at the top of that. He really needs to get the proc here, but even if not, looks like he's cracking in for 6, 7, 8, 9 damage currently, which is still a good chunk of damage to be getting onto this Grimlock. Shuffling up, let's get the cuts here. Alrighty, so we said we got 4 more cards going in. They're just doing the double counts as well. There is the second white. Oh, I did not see that he... Okay, there is the second blue. No, he did have one off the Matrix. I apologize. He did have the proc no matter what, which is really, really nice. Being able, like I said, to get in big damage here. Didn't flip any more oranges after that, so he is just getting in for the 9 damage. And then obviously taking off of 2's armor from Grimlock. It's going to be taking him 5 damage. Going for the reset here, and this is actually a really, really, really tough spot for James in this situation. 1 more Metroplex proc will automatically get rid of the Sludge, and looking at the Grimlock, he is at 9 health over there, so 3 on that one. Going to be going for a big attack here with Grimlock, playing the rollout, flipping both of his characters. He gets the choice if he wants to heal up Grimlock here with Sludge. Sludge does have this really awesome ability where he can possibly pull all of the damage, which is like what he's doing, off of Grimlock and getting rid of the Sludge, but that does fully heal the Grimlock, which is really, really nice play. Obviously the power punch, and then obviously again when you do flip Grimlock, you get to give one of your Dinobots bold 3, giving himself bold 3, and crashing in here for bold 6, which is a lot for a Grimlock to be doing. Did flip a white, so getting 2 additional cards there. Doing some quick math, we're looking at 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage getting in. Only flipping 1 blue on the other side, so that's going to be 3. So taking a massive hit. I think this is going to take him to 27 is my guess. Oh, taking him to 30, I was definitely off. So 30, so he does have 5 health left, so he's going to have to probably bring out a little character here and pray. The disadvantage to this now for the Metroplex is that he's going to have to always be able to straighten, and Grimlock is going to be able to always attack into him. So he's going to deploy the Slammer there, which is going to put 1 damage onto Grimlock, always really nice. Work overtime to get himself a new grip of cards. It's always really good, and that card is really good in the Metroplex list. You always find yourself playing a bunch of bold cards every turn, so the work overtime is a really nice refresh, a great addition from the Devastator list that did come out. Checking out a few of his cards here. I think his best bet is just going to really try to brawl here. The 1 extra armor on the Metroplex side of being in the city mode or the alt mode isn't really going to be a big beneficial. He's going to have to try to crash in here for as much damage as he can. So he's going to have to probably try to outfit Slammer as best as he can to get as much damage. And Slammer is going to be guaranteed probably 1 anyway. Looks like he's going for a power punch onto Slammer. This is going to be giving him that bold 3. Let's see if he's going to be able to get it in there. Flipping 1 orange already, so we're looking at 4. There's 5, the white, 6, 7. So that's a pretty big hit coming in from a Slammer there for 7 damage, which is really, really nice. Blocking 2, which is going to be taking 5. Let's see if he happens to flip a blue here. He does have to reshuffle his scrap pile. Getting those double oranges on a defensive flip for a Dinobot player is really unfortunate. He would have loved to have been able to draw that top card and been able to just crash in there, getting those double orange. But that's the part of this game that I love, is that there's those random flips that really change how this game plays out. And he got all of the double oranges there. Now, he does still have quite a bit of double oranges left in his deck, but this did get a pretty decent hit onto the Grimlock, and then now Metroplex is going to be getting in with the bold. So we're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with that Metroplex hit. So this is a big hit as well. There is a blue, which is really nice, and I think that does allow him to survive, and it does allow him to survive. What a crazy attack when a Dinobot player can survive by flipping a Dino Chomp. That's pretty awesome. So we're getting the reset here, and I don't think that there is any way for James to pull this game out. He'd have to do a crazy number of damage to be able to get him back in this game. He does get the bold 3, which is nice, playing the bashing shield. Give him the 3 armor. Now, this actually does give him an out, because now the Slammer is going to have to be able to crash in for at least 1 point of damage. I'm guessing he's going into Metroplex here. Flipping that double blue is nice, and then also another blue. I can't tell. He might be going into Slammer here. I think that would be incorrect to be going into Slammer. But it looks like, yeah, he did go into Metroplex, and it was enough damage to KO Metroplex. It is going to be carrying 2 damage over to Slammer. So that was the correct play, and this is going to be James's chance here now that he does have 3 armor onto his Grimlock. That Slammer has to be able to crash in for at least 1 point of damage, or flip at least 1 orange in order to win the game. Now, it's crazy, though. I don't know if you guys know much about Slammer, but he does only have 3 health. So the fact that 2 carried over was actually really relevant, and that the debilitating crystal is going to, I believe, seal the deal. That does get him in there for 3, and he did flip 2 oranges, so there is no way that James is going to be able to pull this game out, and that is going to be game 1, and a very nice, happy Slammer over there. You see all the times when Metroplex goes down, and people always have to rely on it, and this time it actually worked out. Alrighty, and we're going to be heading into game 2 here. It looks like players are going to be deciding on who wants to go first or not, and it looks like James did opt for Eric to go first, seeing as how when you do lose game 1, you get the choice of letting your opponent go first or second game 2. Going to be flipping into the bot mode here, not being able to play anything and crashing in. This is probably going to result in a lot of damage on the Metroplex. It's one of the worst things for Metroplex players to be able to go first. Looks like he is probably going to be targeting Sludge or Grimlock in this situation. He's going to be crashing in for a total of 8. Looks like he did go into Sludge. Did flip a blue there. It means that he's going to be taking, I believe, 6 there. He does have 1 armor in that mode, if I do remember correctly, and it looks like I am right. So he's going to be taking 6, which is halfway there, so that is pretty nice. It also, I think, is Eric choosing to go for Sludge, because usually James does throw Sludge out first. So this does kind of put James in a really tough spot as far as if he does still want to throw Sludge out first, because then the returning attack will kill him. Now, the one thing about this is that James does have to flip a character. He doesn't have to, but we'll be flipping a character, gets to play 1 card. Let's see what he does get off of this. Ooh, a Piece Through Tyranny. He's probably not going to be playing that card, seeing as how he doesn't really want to get rid of it. You can opt to play it and not get rid of one of your characters, but you obviously don't get the extra turn. But he does get 3 straight attacks here onto the Metroplex. So he did flip Swoop to try to maximize as much damage as he can, throwing in the Sludge now, who's going to be getting in for 5, 6, 7, 8 damage in total. Blocking 2 is going to be taking 6. Grimlock's going to be crashing in for 4, getting that white, putting him at 5, 6, 7 damage. Getting 2 there, taking 5, taking him up to 11. And then next, Swoop coming in for a total of 5, 6, 7. Getting a white on defense, which is nice. Not flipping any blues, so you're going to be taking 6 more, taking him to a total of 17 damage. So that was a pretty big turn for James. That was almost halfway there on the Metroplex damage, as far as Metroplex having 35 health, which is really important. Like I said, Metroplex going first really sucks unless you happen to have a really nutty hand that allows you to, I would say, protect him as much as you can via like some force fields, or really making sure that you're flipping a bunch of more characters to be able to get other characters out to feed them to the beast. Looks like he is going for a natural flip for the turn, so he probably doesn't have a card in hand that allows him to get a flip, because you always want to try to get him back to his bot mode at the end of every single turn. Leaving Metroplex in his city mode can really kind of hurt. I do see an escape route there, but he's looking to go for the bigger they are play instead, because that does give the Pierce 4, and this does protect Metroplex at least for a turn. So he's going to be crashing in there for 4 Pierce 4. And he is going to be going into probably the swoop again, is going to be my guess. He does have 1 armor on there, but like I said, that Pierce 4 is going to get through, which is going to be putting him at 10 total. It does leave 2 health on the sludge, which is really unfortunate. Being able to put him at 11 would have been really nice. So the Metroplex proc would have been able to get rid of him for free with that ability. Looks like James is going to be flipping Grimlock here, really trying to always maximize that trample, playing the grenade launcher, and here we go with a big bold 3 off of a supercharge. This is another really unfortunate thing for Eric in this situation because Grimlock does have the trample. There isn't really a way to protect your Metroplexes much from direct damage, and that is a lot of damage coming in on that Grimlock. We're looking at 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 crashing into 3. So 12 is going to go in, and that is going to be able to KO the Scamper and carry over 8 damage, I believe, onto Metroplex, which is, like I said, going to be quite a bit. Metroplex does now have 10 health, and he's going to have to find a way to be able to get another little character out here to be able to protect himself for a little longer. Like I said, we do see that escape route in hand, so we can flip to bot mode and then play escape route and get back into city mode to deploy another character. Slammer would be a good character to deploy here because that is going to put 1 across the board, and then maybe a Metroplex will be able to finish off the sludge. He's going to really want to try to get a free KO off of that Metroplex ability, because if he has to go into sludge with an attack, it's going to be a giant wasted attack, and it's going to really set Eric back. So he does go for that play, does bring out this Scamper, which puts Slammer on 1 damage to each character, and is going to be sending that Slammer into Grimlock. The only thing that is a little unfortunate is that we are starting to really get through Eric's deck here. Getting in for 4, which is going to possibly be putting 2 down. He doesn't flip any blues, so that does get 2 damage down onto Grimlock. We're starting to see a lot of cards get flipped through Eric's list here, so it's going to be really hard for the Metroplex to be able to proc at this point. He's going to need a pretty big bold to hopefully have to shuffle his deck to be able to put a lot of those cards back into his list. James is debating here if he does want to flip the sludge, and it looks like that is the route that he's going to be going. I would imagine, and most likely, he's going to be throwing swoop in for this attack. I don't know if he'd be throwing sludge. I don't know if that'd be the correct play. It would just really open him up. It looks like he is debating the attack with sludge. It does heal him for 1. I don't know if I would have gone with this play personally. That does give him a pretty big attack going into Slammer. And that does KO Slammer. The swoop does do more damage, and that really would have protected Sludge. I guess the only advantage to being able to attack with Sludge there is that it does heal him for 1, which does keep him off of the Metroplex trigger KO. And that does kind of have to force putting Eric into going into Sludge if he does want that KO on a Sludge. Obviously, we haven't seen an I Still Function from James and his Dinobots, so if Eric is going to be playing this, I feel in a way that he has to take the match, is he's going to have to try to KO this Grimlock as fast as possible, seeing as how Grimlock is such a threat on the battlefield. Going with another escape route, there are 9 cards on the list that do allow him to flip, and then playing a Matrix of Leadership, giving him that +1 attack, so that is 3 attack now going in. He does have the chance to do 1 damage here to Sludge or possibly get the KO if he does happen to flip right. Let's see what he does get. He does get an orange there, which is enough. If James does flip a blue here, then he does get to survive. Let's see what he does flip. He does get the blue, which does keep him around. Really unfortunate for Eric. That definitely would have been an awesome play if that would have been able to pan out there, and then his Metroplex would have had free range going into the Grimlock, and that Sludge would have been taken care of. Now, the one play that James can do here is he is playing a Jaws of Steel onto Swoop. He can flip that Sludge and overheal everybody, bring them all back to refresh and KO the Sludge, since most likely he's going to get KO'd anyway. Looks like he is just attacking with Swoop into 6-gun. He does have Bold 2 on that Swoop, getting in for pretty big damage there, especially that double orange coming into play here. I'm guessing the 6-gun is showing 3 on defense currently, but we're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 going in. I don't see of a way of the 6-gun living. Even if he flips a double orange, he still gets KO'd. Sorry, I mean to say a double blue there, and it looks like after the reshuffle, they do flip 1 more blue with that rollout. Again, still not going to be enough to keep that 6-gun around, and that is going to send him to the bin. Alrighty, Metroplex does have quite a bit of a fight ahead of him here. Now, the benefit that Eric did get that sludge back to that 11 health, which is really nice. We are seeing quite a bit of bold, going with that backup beam and possibly considering a supercharge, which I would definitely do. He does go for that play and then send him straight into Grimlock. So let's see what he does choose to go with. Hopefully this proc does happen here, which would get rid of quite a bit of stuff. There is already a double orange. We have 2 blues and 2 whites, so that is going to get the proc. Flipping a lot of whites in that scenario, which is really, really unfortunate to not be able to get that Grimlock down as well with so much bold. But he is going to be getting in for 8 damage here, meaning that Grimlock is going to be taking 6 before flips. Let's see what he's going to be doing. He's going to be taking 6, taking him up to 10. It's going to be really close to being able to get it done. It's going to be really interesting here. I think Swoop is now going to be one of the bigger targets, seeing as how he is 5 bold 2, and there's no longer a way for Grimlock to be able to trample, so he's going to have to almost kind of turn his focus to be able to go after this Swoop here, who is more deadly. Unfortunately, looking at the numbers on the table, I don't see a way for Eric and Metroplex to be able to get out of this situation. He's going to have some fantastic defensive flips. Even if he is able to KO Grimlock, he still has to get through 9 on Swoop, and that is just a lot of damage on James' side of the table. Let's see what does go down. James is debating his options, most likely going to be up flipping this Grimlock here, giving Swoop bold 3, and on top of that Jaws of Steel, he does have bold 5, so this is going to be a crazy number of damage coming in. He's going with a Reckless Charge, which is going to put him at 9 bold 5, which is really crazy numbers, and he still has the ability to play a weapon. Let's see if he does play a weapon, or if he tries to outfit. Nope, looks like he's going to be holding on to it, and he's going to be throwing that into Metroplex. He's going to already put the 3 damage from Reckless Charge onto the character so he doesn't forget. It's always nice to be able to do that. Ask your opponent if you think you can, and most of the time they'll say yes. Just allows you to not miss the trigger. So getting in for a lot of damage here, and I don't think there's a way for him to make it out of this, and it looks like that is going to be sending us to Game 3. Alrighty, now getting into game number 3, these players are just doing the final cuts. It'll be really interesting to see here. Now, Eric does get the choice of whether or not he does want to go first or second, and I would imagine that, yes, he does put James on going first. It's going to be really beneficial for him, especially getting into Game 3. We do see Sludge flipping there and getting in for an attack, showing 2 oranges in here, and then throwing 2 blues down on defense, which is really nice, actually. Only taking 3 damage on a Metroplex there is really good. Now, the one thing about this is that this is all pre-recorded stuff from a few months ago, so sideboards are not in at this point, which would probably be way more beneficial for the Metroplex side of things, and obviously those press the advantages from the Dinobot player would have been probably sided out. We're going to be flipping Metroplex for the turn, playing that big power punch, which is going to give him that bold 3, and we do get the proc on there as well, which is really nice. We're getting in for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage as well. Sadly, it's not going to be enough to just one-shot the Sludge, but it's going to put him in a really good spot with that Sludge. And again, being able to proc so consistently saves Metroplex so much damage because of the resets every single time. It is a fantastic character, especially if you can proc him as much as Eric does. Looks like Jim is debating on flipping his Grimlocking, and him propped and ready for a big attack. He also could be choosing to flip Swoop here and getting Swoop in because Metroplex does have to attack, but he does look like he is going to be flipping the Grimlock. I would personally be leaving the Grimlock back for the littler characters and then trying to throw in the other characters as much as possible. He's going for a Power Punch and a Supercharge onto Sludge, so he is really throwing Sludge out there. That is going to be able to heal 1 from Sludge's ability, and that is going to be bold 6 on that Sludge as well, which is going to be quite a bit of damage. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage getting in here. Now, this is a massive hit. He flipped all of the double oranges, which is really, really nice for him. It's going to be so much getting in. Even that double blue is going to be taking him from 3 damage up to 17 damage on that Metroplex. That was an absolutely massive, massive hit, and that is why Dinobots are so dangerous, is because Bold just works so well with those characters. You can try to run Bolt with a lot of other teams, and it just still doesn't seem nearly as good as it always does with Dinobots. Looks like it is now going to be Eric's turn. It looks like he's top decking a Force Field, which is really nice. We do know that James does have the Bashing Shields in his list, but he's going to be going with that is the Escape Route. Let's see what character he's choosing to bring out here. Looks like he's choosing to bring out 6-gun, which is going to allow, when he does attack with Metroplex, to be able to do 1 damage to the defender. So let's see if that is going to be a route he's going to go. He's going to be playing that force field onto 6-gun and sending 6-gun in. Now, if he can allow to get damage in here and keep that force field back, he's going to be in a really good spot. So now he's getting in for quite a bit of damage. We're looking at 5 damage getting into the sludge, flipping a white, getting some really dramatic flips, and he does flip a blue, which is still, though that is enough to keep him alive. That is enough to keep him alive. That is the second time James has been able to flip a Dino Chomp on the defensive things to keep alive, which is really, really important for him just to have that character. Now he has the ability to flip Sludge and to be able to heal from all of his other characters when Sludge is probably going to go down anyway. Now, looks like he's going to be flipping this swoop here and throwing swoop in. Going to most likely try to hit the 6-gun, which will leave him with 1 health left after that force field proc, which is always going to be a perfect spot for Grimlock to be able to feed on after that. So it doesn't really matter about breaking it as much here. He's going to be going for the rollout, which is going to be moving 1 damage over from swoop onto 6-gun. Now this does make the force field not matter anymore, because even if it does proc, he's going to be taking 4 damage, which is enough to still kill that 6-gun. He did flip Grimlock as well, giving bold, and did flip obviously the sludge, but chooses not to activate sludge. Getting in here for quite a bit, flipping those double oranges again. It is going to be able to get this 6-gun out of here, but does save a bunch of damage from Metroplex, so it is still nice. No matter how well the Dinobot player did flip there, it does still save all that damage from Metroplex. Cleaning up all the cards, Eric is always looking at those pips. Like I've said, it's very, very important. He's always looking to see how many are around, how many are left in the deck. Now, this is going to pretty much seal the deal on Sludge. He is going to be flipping again, bringing out that Slammer with another Escape Route. Escape Route is such a fantastic card for your Metroplex list. It does have the green pip and the white pip, so it's always going to be really nice. Putting that 1 damage onto Sludge does automatically get him out of there without having to attack into him. And it looks like the debate here is going to be throwing Metroplex and actually saving Slammer, and it looks like he is going to be going with that play. And he is going to be attacking, and that's going to be getting in for 6 onto the swoop, who does have 2 armor, so he's base taking 4. They are choosing to, I'm sorry, it's not really much of a choice, but they are getting the bold 1 off of Slammer's ability. They did not originally do that when they came to flipping. Not flipping any blues, so it's going to be taking that 4 damage onto the swoop. Now, the benefit to throwing Metroplex here over Slammer is that Grimlock is still untapped, and Grimlock has the ability to trample. So even if he would have thrown Slammer out there, it may have mitigated some damage because he does have 3 armor, but ultimately would have been KOing Slammer still and still putting damage onto Metroplex. So Eric is valuing here that it is just better to take the damage to Metroplex. We are going to be getting that supercharge from Grimlock, giving him that bold 3 going into Metroplex. He has flipped most of his double oranges, so we're really not going to see a lot here, and we don't. That is going to be 11 damage getting in. No blues, though, however, from Metroplex side, seeing as how that he's going to be taking 9 damage now, which is going to be putting him up to 25. Nope, 26. Yep, it's going to be taking him up to 26 damage. That does still leave him with 9 health left, so it's going to be pretty interesting here to see if Slammer's going to have to bring this one back as well. Most likely going to be trying to get a KO onto Swoop here. It seems like Swoop is definitely going to be the easier target to allow him to untap. My apology aloud. James to untap with Swoop would be really, really devastating, just because then he'd still have 2 attackers and be able to throw out Swoop as a one of. Looks like he's even playing that work overtime. Again, told you, fantastic card with the Metroplex list. You're always playing, a bunch of cards every single turn, and it's always a really good refresh, not to mention that it is a white battle icon card, so it always is really good for Metroplex's ability as well. Now, I haven't really seen any play mistakes with this game. I think it's just really come down to a lot of luck with James's flips, and really getting those double oranges have been really big. Sludge being able to flip a blue on defense, which was really huge. That was a massive turn for James to be able to flip that blue to be able to keep the character alive. Now, it ended up not really being as much of a difference because Slammer was able to come out and get that KO onto the character as well. But it can always turn really terrible when Sludge is out, and especially with characters with 1 health, it can always be bad. Flipping Metroplex for the turn because you actually can't flip Slammer for the turn. He definitely does not have another mode. Attacking in for 4 here, like I said, most likely going to be choosing to go. Oh, it looks like he's choosing to go into Grimlock, most likely wanting to finish Grimlock out next turn with a Metroplex hit, and that's going to be getting in for 5 total. Not flipping any blues, taking 3, taking him up to 5 damage. And we're going to be getting the reset here. Now, with this reset, I would imagine that it's going to be a big hit going into Metroplex, just because he does have that 9 health. It is entirely possible for James to get a KO here. He has tons of weapons, tons of ways of getting bold in the list. So it'll be interesting to see if he does choose to go for a big hit. If we do see him go for Slammer, he obviously isn't going to have such a massive hit, and he's going to be trying to just feed a character for Metroplex and then trying to finish him out afterwards. I do see a Field Communicator in hand, which does target Soup as well. He is a specialist as well as Sludge, so it's a really good card in the list. Might be able to get him something off the top. We know he has a Bashing Shield in hand. However, there are no armors on Eric's side, so there's not going to be much of a target for that. My guess is he's going to be throwing Grimlock here. Grimlock is in a worse of a spot, I would say. I don't know if the trample would be as much as needed. It's really interesting, though, that James doesn't run any ISO functions on the list. I think it is a really, really good card for this. It looks like he might be going for that Field Communicator, which, depending on what the rest of his hand is, would be my choice as well to see what you do get off of it. It looks like Eric is going back to pick up that escape route that happened at the end of last flip. They are going with the Field Communicator, which is going to give the rollout that is going to be allowed to flip Grimlock to give. It looks like he's giving himself Bold 3, and then playing a Dino Chomp, getting rid of the rest of that hand, and getting a huge hit in. That's going to be Bold 8 on that Grimlock going into Metroplex, and this should be more than enough to get the job done on Metroplex. Getting a white in there, allowing him to flip 2 more, and lots and lots and lots of oranges. He's going to have to really flip here good on defense. I don't think it's enough here to be able to survive. It was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. A lot of damage. So it looks like they're doing the numbers on the count. I don't know if he said that he was declaring going into Slammer at this point, or if he was deciding to go into Metroplex at this point. They're doing math. And it looks like that is going to be a double KO, and that is going to be enough to seal the deal, and that is going to be giving game three to James, and he is going to be our winner. So James was our Heroes Rise champion. He did go undefeated throughout the entire day. He did drop a couple of games here and there, but he did go undefeated. He did walk away with some awesome prizes, including a trophy, some cash prize, and some playmat, and a playmat as well for his top spot. Big shout out to everyone who did show up for the event, man. We had an absolute blast. It was really, really awesome gameplay and just had a fantastic day. I obviously hosted it. We had lunch come in for everybody, and we just got to play some great gaming. Now, I am going to be doing another big tournament, but now that they did obviously bring out organized play, those big tournaments are going to be a thing as well. So I'm going to try to make sure that it's kind of in between when all the really big tournaments are going, because I would obviously imagine if you guys are going to be traveling for high competitive play, you guys are going to be traveling for Wizard organized events, which I totally agree with. Now, this was a really good match. I was really happy that I did go to Game 3. It was really stressful for both of these players to have so many people just around watching them going to Game 3 and really coming down to that last turn where Dino Chomp was able to get it done. Now, a lot of people are always really iffy about Dino Chomp in their lists. And honestly, I think it's a 1 of or a 2 of, and now that sideboards are a thing, it could even be a card that I would definitely throw into my sideboard if you really need that last little bit of gas to really push it over the top. As you guys can see in that scenario, it was just enough to get it done. Being able to attack for so much damage, it can really make a huge difference, especially with Grimlock on the board. He can just trample like crazy. The one thing that I do think was pretty interesting about this list, like I said, is that he did not have ISO functions. Now, it did end up working out for him in this scenario because he didn't have blanks and didn't really have much of a need to ever bring back the characters. The thought process there is obviously if you just do so much damage, then you don't really have to worry about bringing another character back. I still think in most situations, though, I would recommend ISO Function with the list. It's really nice to be able to play ISO Function, bring Grimlock back, throw a grenade launcher on it, and possibly get, a double KO late in game, or even to bring back a Sludge if you've been throwing Sludge out there early enough to where then you can overheal and bring back all of your damage counters from your Swoop or from your Snarl and your Grimlock, and then be able to easily KO the Sludge that has to go end of turn anyway. Can be really beneficial, especially if you're in a race situation when you're going up against a bunch of orange versus orange. It can really be beneficial, so I definitely would suggest that. But when it comes to the Metroplex list, there's honestly not much that I can say. Eric pilots it extremely well, and I originally thought that 11 whites was honestly too much, but after watching him play it at this event and some of the other times we've seen him play it at a local game store, the whites actually work out really well for him and really make sure that he not only flips enough on offense, but that he also flips enough on defense. So it's really, really nice. Like I said, the introduction of Work Overtime was an absolutely huge card. Escape Route was a massive card as well to be added for Metroplex. He does have 9 flip cards in the list between 3 rollouts, 3 rapid conversions, and 3 escape routes. Really, really well done. Like I said, it just was a kind of a tough matchup for Metroplex because it does so much damage. You really have to make sure you're proccing every turn, and then you're kind of getting lucky on the rest of your flips, and unfortunately it seems like James just got a little luckier with the flips. Alrighty, there you guys have it. There is the match and the tournament's end. I hope you guys did enjoy my breakdown and my commentary over the match. If you guys did, obviously a like would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you guys can get access to all of our videos as soon as they become available, and I will catch you guys in the next one.